Alright, the Rockets were looking to fry Turner out the gates because they were going at him non-stop, and if it wasn't just Şengün attacking him, then it was K attacking him on the switch, so he could not hide on defense at all. It was obvious the two were very comfortable in that matchup, and even when he was the help, they were just forcing his low rotation and playing out of the scramble once that triggered it, so no matter what coverage he was in, it really wasn't working. That forced the Bucks to try their 2-3 at times, but zoning up didn't work either, because the Rockets were able to find the open shooter or the open pockets to exploit, so they easily broke that, and their biggest issue on offense was really just the turnovers. They were just very loose with the rock throughout the night, so the Bucks were able to snatch it out of their hands or quickly deflect a pass, and all of those compounding was a big reason for the Bucks' pace. They were just getting a lot of runouts, and even if they didn't, they were still capitalizing on that pace to flow right into their offense, so they got to establish a rhythm. But the Rockets' turnover issues wasn't the Rockets' only issue, because I also just don't think they came out with the right level of effort on defense overall, and the most noticeable issue was them giving up way too much space to their man whenever they were in help, so the Bucks were basically getting wide open looks from deep. There were countless times when one of those shots were either uncontested or had a late contest, and same as the Bucks. They tried their 2-3 at times, but that didn't work either, because they were also giving up too many open lanes to exploit, so man or zone, they weren't able to consistently get stops. It really took until the third before they finally could, and all it required was a simple adjustment to stay closer to their man, because by being at least an arm's length away, that allowed them to rotate if they needed to while still being able to close out at the same time, so they weren't out of position as often. But other than that, their coverages remained the same, so besides their bigs dropping against the Bucks' screening actions at times, they were still reading everything 1 through 5, and the most important aspect was really just their level of effort increasing. Their defensive pressure on or off the rock made the biggest difference, because that took away most of the Bucks' pace from the first half, so their offense started getting more stagnant, and they had to basically rely on Giannis throughout the second half. They were just getting him the rock in his spots to play out of, and he was either getting his or finding the others when the double came, so he was able to keep them afloat. There were also moments when he was the screener and their guards had the rock to manipulate Spains in the fourth, but other than those, it was mainly in his hands, and unfortunately, he had some crucial errors down the wire, because he had a severe case of the free throw plague, or even worse, turnover issues, so the Rockets were able to eventually run it back by the end of the game. Fortunately for them, they actually converted at the line, and the Bucks were finally the team that kept turning the rock over, so they just slowly walked the Bucks down by playing through their stars. Early on, it was Şengün in the post, because the Bucks were firing his touches, so they just played out of that, and then once K subbed in, they just put the rock in his hands the way they did in the third. All he had to do was fry on ones, or swing the rock whenever the Bucks were loading up, and those kept leading to winning plays, so those turned into the 17-7 run in the last 5 minutes that secured the win. The last chance the Bucks had was when they were down 3, but for some reason, Giannis tried to pick up Şengün 94 feet, and I think he was just overcompensating on that position because of the errors he made prior, especially since that was right after smoking a free throw, and all that did was just allow Şengün to burn him for the nail in the coffin. Just watch the tape.
That's incredible stuff from Alperen Şengün.